Hey, Osio, Halito. Peace and blessings to you guys. It's your girl Shay Marie back for another video. I have some information that I definitely got to share with you guys today. This is information to all my Democratic lovers, all my Democratic Party people that just are so in love with the Democratic Party and just hate Trump so much, right? Especially for my Michiganders, my Detroit people. Y'all know I'm from Detroit. I'm right in the city right now, in the hood. And I need y'all to understand what's going on. I need y'all to understand what's going on in a major way. And I need you guys to really know the truth. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to get ready to play this video for you guys. And once I play this video, it's a pretty long video. So I mean, if you don't want to stay around for it and get this information so that you can be informed about what's actually going on, what Trump is actually doing, instead of listening to the media and not doing your own research and going behind them and actually finding out what he's actually doing, instead of watching little small clips of him saying a couple of words and them pasting little clips from here and there into a video to try to make and twist his words up and twist up lies and all type of shit that's been going on through the mainstream media and through the people that's been pushing false narratives, then this is not for you. You don't want to stay around. You don't want to stay around at all. You see, I got this picture up for a reason, because I don't want you guys to think that I'm just so sweet and humble. That's a part of me as well. But right now, it's not time for that right now. It's not time for being sweet and humble and nice or none of that shit. It's time for getting this information out, getting this truth out, and for people to start waking the fuck up. I'm serious. If you want to live, if you care about the future of your children, if you want to keep your children, because they out here to take them away from you and do whatever the fuck they want to do to them. So I need you guys to pay attention to this video that I'm getting ready to play. And I got lots more information to be sharing with you guys. But I'm here to help you guys get free. And we can live in peace, happiness, abundance, a unity. Let's come together. Let's start building. This is what I'm here for. I'm not going to keep talking. Let me play this video for you guys. Okay, give me a second. So let me play this video.
There, we have top leadership there. The dam breaks were very bad, very severe. They were old, and perhaps there was a mistake made somewhere along the line, but it's a lot of water coming in, and there's nobody better to handle. There's nobody anywhere in the world better to handle this.
Pause. I don't watch the news or anything like that, but this is Fox News, right? I just want you guys to see in this corner right here where you see my cursor circling. This says Fox 10 Phoenix. Now, why is Phoenix reporting stuff that's going on in Michigan? This is stuff that's going on in Michigan. I don't watch our local news. I don't watch the news at all. So I don't know if you guys seen this information or have saw this video or whatnot. But Trump was in our state today. Today is May 21st, 2020. Trump was here. And I don't know if many people know this, because I haven't seen it. I seen a post earlier about somebody saying, oh, Trump was supposed to, it was an article of some bullshit about Trump was in Michigan. He supposed to wear a mask or some shit. The general said he supposed to wear a mask, but Trump didn't wear a mask. I'm like, this what the fuck that you got to fucking talk about this motherfucker not wearing a mask? And I didn't even really go into it, but my husband sent me this video, and I need you guys to pay close attention and listen to what he's saying, because this man has been doing his job, and y'all need to leave him alone, and y'all need to wake the fuck up and understand what the fuck is going on with these motherfuckers that you done voted in fucking office over and fucking over again for some 60s, almost to 100 fucking years. And it's time to fucking wake the fuck up. I don't give a fuck if you don't like my language. I'm tired of having to fight with y'all and go back and forth with people that are in total ignorance about what the fuck is going on. So pay attention and let's get this information.
situation than the Army Corps of Engineers. So we have them at the top. They're here and they're ready to start moving. As our nation battles the invisible enemy, African-American communities have been hit very hard, including in Detroit. As you know, it's been a very, very difficult time for certain areas of this country. Detroit happens to be one of them. My administration is working relentlessly to rush supplies and resources to these communities and to protect the health, safety, and economic opportunity of all African-Americans and all Americans. We have done a tremendous job in the state of Michigan, not only in terms of bringing autos back and auto productions back, but also in terms of fighting the virus. We're fighting it, and we're fighting it very, very hard. It came from China. We're not happy about it. We just signed a trade deal. The ink wasn't dry, and all of a sudden this floated in. We are not going to take it lightly. The federal government has sent 11 million pieces of personal protective equipment to Michigan and 1,720 hospital beds built right here in Detroit. Incredible job. That was done largely by FEMA, but also the Army Corps of Engineers. We delivered over $2 billion of community health centers, including $6 million for 8 health centers in Detroit. And people from Detroit and friends from the area have said it's incredible the job that we've done. We've made a lot of governors look very good. Working with the private sector, over 400 community testing sites.
Pause. You hear that shade he just threw at Gretchen? Y'all around here thinking this bitch around here doing shit for y'all, and it's not. It's President Trump. And this bitch around here trying to invoke y'all rights. I'm not going to go no further into that. But y'all just got to pay attention to what's going on.
Are open nationwide. We're the #1 tester for this virus in the entire world. There's nobody close. We did almost 14 million tests. Number 2 is Germany at 3 million. South Korea probably at about almost 3 million. And it goes down the list. We're at 14 million tests, very close to that number. 70% are in socially vulnerable areas with the testing. And with 1,000 more sites opening by the end of May, we'll have a record number of sites. Many of the sites are open in Detroit and all across Michigan. In some cases, as an example, Florida, and I guess I've heard from about 6 governors where they have far more testing than they have people that need the test. So that's something. Nobody's done the job on testing like we have. Nobody's done the job on ventilators like we have. You're going to see that in a little while at the Ford plant where they're making thousands and thousands of ventilators. And nobody that's needed a ventilator in this entire country has not gotten one. And very importantly, all over the world now, they're calling us for help on ventilators. They're very hard to make, and they're calling for help on ventilators. On Tuesday, we announced $315 million in federal funding for Michigan to increase testing and contact tracing and disease surveillance. So we're going all out. We want to make sure everything's absolutely perfect. A lot of people are looking into other things, like, as an example, vaccines and therapeutics. Therapeutically, we're doing some things that are, I think, going to be released pretty soon that are amazing, and for the cure, ultimately for the cure. And I think the cure, the therapeutics, and the vaccines that are happening right now, I think you're going to be very impressed over the next number of weeks. Today they had an announcement that was a very important announcement, Ben. I think you saw that. I signed legislation providing over $600 billion in massive relief for workers and small businesses, including at least $60 billion for smaller financial institutions, including those that serve minority communities. One of the beautiful things that Scott Turner has done, and he's a real leader, he's led so well from his days at the NFL, where he was known as being fast, but maybe even more than speed, being tough. He was a tough guy. People told me that had to tackle him and had to go against him. They weren't thrilled. I mentioned your name. They weren't happy. But Scott's done an incredible job with opportunity zones. He worked with me and with Senator Tim Scott. I have to tell you, what a great guy from South Carolina. He had an idea, and it was an idea that we took and we made it work. And I want to thank you for the great job you're doing, Scott. Thank you, sir. Before the virus, African-American unemployment reached its lowest level in history, and African-American poverty reached its lowest level in history. We never had more people from the African-American community working in this country. It was almost, in terms of total, almost 160 million people. And African-Americans set a new record. Out of that 160, African-American unemployment and employment was the best. They were the best numbers that we've ever had. That goes for many others. Also, Asian Americans, you know that. We set records with Asian Americans and Hispanic Americans. And then we had the plague flow in from China. And now we're doing it again, and you're going to see some incredible numbers. Starting in June, July, you're going to see some incredible numbers because it's coming back, and it's coming back fast. I spoke to CDC today about churches. We've got to get our churches open. We've got to get our country open. These governors have to start doing what they're supposed to be doing. Together we passed also criminal justice reform, which is a big deal, and that's something that could not be passed without us. And I will tell you, I have a very good friend of mine. And would you come in from Cleveland?
Yeah.
Well, to be here, I'm very impressed with you.
My buddy is here.
Thank you. Well, your buddy is here. I'll tell you that.
My president.
But we did pass criminal justice reform. You were one of my advisors.
Yes, sir.
And
prison reform as well.
Prison reform, a lot of things that nobody else would have done and nobody else could have done. And the Democrats, I don't even know if they tried, but if they did, they couldn't get it done. So we got it done. Thank you very much. We delivered record funding for HBCUs and made the funding permanent. So every year, I would have people come from the black colleges, small, large, all sizes, and they would come in colleges and universities, and they'd ask me for money. After the third year, I said, what's going on over here? What's happening? Why do you keep coming every year? They needed it every single year. One man said to me, we feel like beggars. We keep coming to the White House every year. I said, why don't we make it permanent, to make it long term? And I got it approved. So now your historically black colleges and universities, small and large, great schools, they have long-term funding. They don't have. The only thing is, I said, some of them became friends of mine, the leaders of these colleges. I said, I won't be seeing you anymore. And they didn't mind that, actually, because now they can have a life of making their schools great and making their colleges great. But we did that, and I think most people don't even know about that. But every year, 3 years, I got to see the same people. And would come in, there'd be 36, 38, 40 in the Oval Office, would take a picture. I'd say, how come you keep coming back? And they said, because it's a year-to-year deal. I said, that's unbelievable. For many years, year to year, so they have to come in and beg. He said, we feel like beggars. I said, not going to happen anymore. We got it done permanently. Pretty good, right? Will anybody write about it? No, but that's okay. I think the people know. As long as the people know, Scott, you got to get the word out. My pastor has to get the word out. How are you? Nice to see you. We created nearly 9,000 opportunity zones, including 94 right here in Detroit. And we're opening and we're rebuilding and we're doing a job, and you're going to see the numbers start coming in. The projections came in yesterday. Larry Kudlow was telling me the projections are looking really good. So we built the greatest economy in the world, greatest economy in the history of the world, better than China by a lot. China had the worst year they had in 67 years before the virus came in. They were doing, look, I want everybody to do well, but we were doing better than anybody, and it wasn't even close. There wasn't anybody even close to us. And now I'm going to do it again. We had to shut it off. They came in and we did the right thing. We would have lost millions of lives. We did the right thing, but now we're opening up again. And we're going to open our churches again. I think CDC is going to put something out very soon. I spoke to them today. I think they're going to put something out very soon. We got to open our churches. People want to go in. I saw a scene today where people are trying to break into a church, to go into the church, not to break in and steal something, to break in. They want to be in their church. I said, you better put it out, and they're doing it, and they're going to be issuing something today or tomorrow on churches. We got to get our churches open. So with that, I'd just like to thank everybody for being here, your friends, your great people, and supporters, but forget the word supporter. I don't care. I want to take care of everybody. And a man who's done an incredible job for me is Ben Carson. Ben, please say a few words.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and thank you all for being here today and for welcoming us here and for your tremendous resilience that we've seen in this area. It's said that crisis reveals character, and the COVID-19 national emergency has revealed the indomitable spirit of the people of Michigan and the men and women of the automobile industry. As the Secretary of HUD, in conjunction with the President, I've directed our department to do everything within our power to help the American workers and their families remain in their homes, prevent dislocation, and receive the critical services from the federal government. That includes allocating more than $12 billion under the CARES Act, which is, the CARES Act is the single biggest economic relief package in American history. And as a member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, I've also had the privilege of working with some of our leaders, not only to respond to COVID-19, but to set America back on the path of reopening. Right. And as we're seeing here at Ford today, the path to putting Americans back in business is already well underway, and we appreciate those efforts. As the President said, before this virus came along, we were humming along, making really records in terms of African American, Hispanic American, Asian American unemployment. Women, it was the best employment numbers in 71 years. This is really a historic period. And what we need to recognize is that the economic infrastructure that created that economic renaissance is still there. We have to make sure that it's not destroyed. And the way to do that, obviously, is to get people back to work again. That's why the emphasis is on that, while at the same time maintaining a strong emphasis on making sure that our people are healthy. And I think it's become part of the American DNA now. We've learned about sanitizing everything, including our hands, being careful about the kinds of things that we touch that are being touched by multiple people, social distancing. Wearing masks when we can't social distance. You'll notice that at this table we are social distancing. And President Trump and this administration have organized the largest national mobilization since World War II, providing PPE, providing ventilators. Detroit, which was once the most prosperous city in the nation because of its industrial infrastructure, now is showing what it can do, and other portions of Michigan what it can do in the manufacturing arena. Real superstars. And we've also been renewing and expanding our focus on helping the communities that have been hit the hardest. 3.5 weeks ago, the president asked us in the Opportunity and Revitalization Committee to focus on those individuals who are underserved, who have been hit the hardest in our economy. And we're looking at it. We're looking at their physical health. We're also looking at their economic health. And we're looking at the things that really cause them to have more problems than the general population. Yes, there may be more hypertension. There may be more diabetes. There may be more obesity and asthma. But we also have to ask ourselves, why are there more of those things? And we have to address those issues. And that's why all the different agencies in the government have combined to put together a kind of program that will address these things on a sustainable basis. And we need to just remember that we have to bridge the gap, because we have a very strong economy. We just have to bridge the gap until we get beyond this coronavirus. As the president mentioned, there's tremendous progress being made in terms of therapeutics, in terms of vaccines. And if there is a second wave, and it's not clear whether there will be, but if there is, believe me, we're going to be ready for it. But we're also going to be ready to recapture the spirit that created the most powerful and dynamic economy the world has ever known. It is just around the corner, and I believe that we're going to make it. And, we've learned that in times of plenty, the incredible blessings of the Lord are with us. And when times are not so good, we also know that this too will pass. We will learn from this, and we will be stronger than ever.
Thank you very much, Ben. Appreciate it. A young man who has got a tremendous future. He's going to be a senator hopefully soon. He's representing a state that has already fallen in love with him. I saw him a few years ago. I watched him on television. I said, who is that guy? And I found out his name was John James. And I said, he's going to be fantastic. And he ran a great race, and now he's running a race that's incredible. He loves the people. He wants to help the people. He's running for the United States Senate. Everybody knows that in this great state, Michigan. John, would you say a few words, please?
Yes, Mr. President. And Mr. President, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
I'm tremendously honored to have the opportunity to speak on behalf of the state and communities who have extraordinary needs to the President of the United States of America. We're one of the hardest hit states for COVID, and now devastation has struck central Michigan, where more than 10,000 have been evacuated. Our hearts and minds and prayers are with them. Small businesses continue to need support. Our food banks have capacity needs, and shelters need funds, which is why we've repurposed our campaign funds in large part, giving back a nickel for every dollar we raise to help feed the hungry, to help clothe the naked, to help heal the sick, and take care of our veterans. Recently, we've given $200,000 to a medical facility in Detroit, in-person testing Detroiters in the toughest hit area in the country, and working with my friend, Representative Whitsett, distributing hundreds of thousands of meals. I'm not going to steal her thunder. She's doing great work at our logistics company, an automotive company headquartered in Detroit. We were able to help her there. We actually process and ship material made in this plant, sir, and we sell them abroad. We keep American jobs here. Right. By making people buy our American goods. We ship American goods, not American jobs. So I've said for a long time, sir, you don't need to go to Venezuela to see the effects of socialism. You can ride right down the highway in Detroit. And I recently penned an op-ed in Michigan Chronicle about how 40% of Michigan COVID deaths were African Americans. And when you look at the 14% of us that's made up, it gets to Secretary Carson, Dr. Carson's comment about having a more sustainable path. Mr. President, I believe and agree with you that the 21st century prosperity agenda that focuses on economic security, health and wellness, and having leaders with personal stake in addressing generational poverty among blacks in Michigan and around the country is something that you've agreed with and you've set your mind to, because as we all know, both natural and man-made disasters always have a way of unmasking generations of disinvestment and exploitation of African Americans. I think that a great start is something that you've already done, Mr. President. This is the Motor City. This is the arsenal of democracy. And when called upon, Michigan Detroiters stood up. We're making ventilators right past this pipe and drape because you called, the president called, the nation called, and Michigan stood up. I believe that you know us for cars and trucks. I think in the future you can know us for planes and rockets. Mr. President, you're moving jobs back from overseas. You're moving chip manufacturers to Arizona. You're bringing pharmaceutical manufacturers to Virginia. I think that we have an opportunity to bring aerospace and rockets back to Michigan. You signed an order, Mr. President, Executive Order 13806, way back before this crisis came, assessing and strengthening the manufacturing and defense industrial base and supply chain resiliency of the United States. You know when you signed that, Mr. President? You signed that in July 2017. I don't think that you've been president at that time for, 8 months at that point, or 7 months at that point, and you were already thinking about our supply chain and sustainability and repatriation of jobs and our economic strength. I want to thank you for that foresight, Mr. President. I think we can build on that by expanding the National Emergency Declaration to encompass the economic threat of our national security, our economic health. I think that Michigan, once again, can stand up when called by its president and looking at additional opportunities for F-35 and looking at launch initiatives with Oscoda Wordsworth for space and polar orbit, but also TACOM expansion. Sir, we have the workforce here, but we need data, we need training, and we need jobs. In order to emerge from this with a more sustainable path that Dr. Carson laid out, and like you have been laying out for the better part of the past 4 years, Mr. President, things made here are better, and I trust the people of the state of Michigan and the United States of America. So I'm looking forward to working with you and anybody else who wants to protect American jobs and protect American health. So thank you for being here, Mr. President.
Well, thank you, John. You're doing a fantastic job. I'm getting all sorts of reports, glowing reports, and if you do come to Washington, you have my ear. And your gentleman that you're opposing, I'll tell you, nobody even knows who he is. Nobody knows who he is. Nobody ever heard of him, and he's a senator. So go out and do the job, finish the job, and you're going to bring a lot of wealth back to this state because it deserves it. Okay? Thank you very much, John.
Thank you, Mr.
Really great job. I want to just call out J. Ron Smith. He's been here with me like from the beginning. We never call him out. He works so hard. I say, I want to call him out. He doesn't want to be. I don't know. He's not a shy man, but he's a very capable man, and you've been right from the beginning, and I want to thank you. If you'd like to say something, you can. He never wants to even bother, but this is one tough, smart cookie. Go ahead, J. Ron.
Well, I'll say, first of all, Mr. President, thank you so much for your leadership. A lot of the challenges that are in the African-American community are historic in nature. Of course, the COVID pandemic has shined a bright light on some of those historic disparities, whether it's access to capital or if it's access to healthcare or, the environments that people grow up in. What we've established through the White House Opportunity Revitalization Council that you set up 2 years ago, set off to take upon that challenge to change it. When you ran and wanted to make the country great, it was making the land of opportunity again. Opportunity for all Americans, whether you're African-American in Detroit or you're from Appalachia, or a Hispanic American living in San Antonio. Everyone should be get a chance to be a part of the American dream. And since we had that infrastructure in place, the White House Revitalization Council, it made it easy for us to renew that focus and help with the recovery of underserved communities. And through that council, we're developing even more muscle with partners here at this table to help us really change the way we've ever done things for these vulnerable populations. And I believe that through your leadership, we're going to arise out of the ashes of this like a phoenix, stronger than ever. And so thank you so much, and we look forward to continue to work with you.
Well, I just want to thank you for being an incredible talent in the White House and a friend of Jared and a friend of the administration. You've done a fantastic job. Thank you very much, Jared. Appreciate it. Representative Karen Whitsett, highly respected person, loved in the Detroit area. She only wanted one thing. She wants to take care of people. She doesn't care if they're Republicans, Democrats. She couldn't care less. And I saw her story on television, and it's an incredible story, but she's an incredible woman. And I don't care if she's a Democrat or a Republican. I just think it's very important that we keep her here and healthy, and she will take care of whoever she has to take care of. And it's an honor to see you, and I really appreciate it. If you'd like to say a couple of words, Karen, please.
Well, thank you, Mr. President. It's just an honor and a pleasure to be here, and that you wanted to include me in this wonderful conversation. I am truly honored and humbled to be before you right now, to be able to discuss some of the issues that have transpired in my community. I thank Dr. Carson for pointing out some of the most troubling things that we do have going on in the community, but you have started working on these things long before now, and I do, Mr. President, give you a lot of credit for that, and I thank you for it.
Thank you.
We as a community have been struggling, and as you know, our poverty level is extremely high in the area, and everyone is not meant to go to college. So one of the things I would like to point out is that training is a necessity and a need, as John has mentioned. That is something that is imperative for the community. If we have proper training, then we can change our renters into homeowners. We can change the dynamic of my community that I have been in since 1969. And my husband and I, we grew up on the same street. We've been there since, like I said, 1969, and my in-laws still live a few doors down from me. And I know how great our
community. You get along with them still?
Yes, I still do. I love my mother-in-law.
One of the few.
As I was saying, that it's imperative that I know that our community can change. I know what it can go back to. I know how wonderful it was before, and I know what it can grow back into being. If we can turn renters into homeowners, if we can put the dollar back into the community, if we can change the lives of single mothers that are struggling to make ends meet, which we have been doing with, food distribution, but food distribution is not the end all. We don't want to stay where people are asking for things constantly. We want people to be able to stand on their own 2 feet and be resilient within their own community and take pride in that, as well as being able to, as you addressed about the historical black colleges. I would love to see a historical black college in the city of Detroit. I think that would be amazing, and I think you're just the president to be able to make that happen.
It's an interesting idea, actually.
I think that you can.
They've got a lot of money now. They're all set. So I don't know. Maybe we can work something out.
I think you can
we'll
make
talk
that
about
happen.
that.
I would love to talk
Talk about that. Thanks,
also, funding for home repairs for our seniors. Our seniors are really struggling, and everyone does not have children. Everyone does not have a spouse, and they don't have family they can count on. So our seniors are suffering because they do not have money for repairs for their roofs, for ramps, and for their porches. And it's something extremely important to them. And to be able to maintain, as you know, to be able to maintain seniors in their homes is life-changing. I mean, we have programs that assist, but we don't have programs that directly address this within the community to be able to empower seniors to stay in their homes. And I think we can make a whole world of difference by doing that. And you've considered everything else that I wanted to talk about.
No, but I think your idea about historically black colleges, universities coming here, one real good one.
Yes.
I think it's a great idea.
Thank you.
With all you said, that really, I remember everything you said word for word. But you know what? That was an idea I hadn't heard of. I don't know if anyone's ever thought of that, but John, you want to start working on that, please?
Absolutely.
Isn't that a good idea?
That's a great idea, and I have a couple ideas of exactly where to put it, Karen.
I don't know.
Thank
that
you.
might have been a filler for you. It might have been just a filler, but it wasn't a filler up here.
No, it's not.
That's
It's not a filler. It's not a
We're going to have
filler.
John James work on it. If John works on it, I'll bet you it happens.
Oh, I
okay?
know it'll happen. I mean, John James is the man to make that happen. We've been working really great together, and
Good.
I'm looking forward to continue
Good.
working with you and the White House to
Good.
be able to continue. And Jerron has been awesome to work with. So
Say
I
hello
thank
to
you.
Say hello to your husband.
I will. He's actually in the car.
Oh, he's in the car. Can we bring him in, please? Is he all right? I mean, why is he in the car?
Because-
Can't make it, Scott? You mean he doesn't qualify? Would you do me a favor? Could you have somebody go out and find him, take his car, let him come in? He only saved your life, right?
He only saved my
She was
life.
not feeling too well one night, and she said, would you do me a favor? Go down to the store and get a particular thing. And that was a big evening. No, he does not deserve to be sitting in a car. Let's bring him in, okay?
No, and I also took a note from you, and so I actually filed a lawsuit to the governor today as well. So
Okay,
I thought
good.
that you would like to know that.
That sounds very good. You got my note, right?
Yes, I do.
Good.
Thank
you very much. Great job. Scott, could you say a few words, please? Outstanding guy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. And I'm so humbled to be here with you, sir. And thank you for your leadership and really your heart for America and the heartbeat of America. And thank you all for being here, servant leaders at this table this afternoon. And so I'm honored to sit with you. You know, Detroit, as I wrote down, and, Secretary Carson having roots here, I wrote down, Detroit is the epitome of hard work and ingenuity and innovativeness. And I think that same spirit and resolve is still here in Detroit. And it makes, so I'm grateful to be here. And Jerron talked about the White House Opportunity and Revitalization Council and how the spirit of that council is economic development and also community development and social impact, to see those inside of the communities in which we serve to thrive and to benefit and for long-term sustainability. And I just want to encourage everyone here that our vision and our spirit is still the same. We are not unaware. We are not, oblivious to the severity of the COVID, but our mission remains. Our face is set like flint. We are steadfast, and we're not going to be moved by this. The president has refocused and repurposed the council with a broader vision, and that's why we're here today, to hear from you, to share with you, to create partnerships, as Jerron talked about, in coalitions. But, Mr. President, we are in the right place at the right time, and I believe that Detroit can be a shining example through the recovery during the COVID and after the COVID, and that America could see. Americans want to go to work. We are working people, and small business drives America. And we're in a great place today, and to not just to take the tour, but to have a meeting, but a great example of what hard work can do in this country, and career and technical centers. Education is not a one-size-fits-all, Representative. And so career and technical centers and HBCUs and educating our young people for generations to come is so important to us, and that's why we're here. Because long after all of us are gone, what we talk about here today and beyond today will affect those that come behind us. And that's my heart for being here. So when those that come behind us will benefit from what we do today. And we are about outcomes in this administration and results for all Americans, because that's our team, the United States of America. So, Mr. President, thank you.
Thank you very much.
For bringing it's just a great honor to serve with you.
And thanks for doing a great job. You're really doing a great job. So a man called me and he said, you got to open the churches. You got to open them. And he's somebody I respect a lot. And I watched him defending me a long time ago, long before I even did this. And he was so tough. He was so brutal. The last thing I thought he was a pastor. And then I found out he was a pastor. And he's a great pastor, and he's loved in his community. And I'd like to ask my friend, Pastor Darrell Scott, to say a few words. You are terrific.
Thank you, Mr. President. Listen, we are attempting to navigate, when I say we, I'm speaking of you as our leader in this administration, we're attempting to navigate our way through uncharted waters right now. We are going through a crisis that it's unprecedented in modern history. And so, we're learning more about this challenge every day. Information is being updated every day, but information is also being outdated every day. Things we thought 3 months ago, we don't think today. So we're navigating our way through this, and we have to all be on one accord in this. I thank you, Mr. President, for your bold leadership. I really believe that the effects of this pandemic would have been much more severe if it had not been for measures that you enacted and that this administration has enacted in conjunction with the state governments to try to contain and curtail the spread as much as possible. This president has pledged to give assistance to underserved communities that are impacted by this COVID-19 virus. He has pledged to give us assistance in those areas, which will actually coincide with the president's already existing initiatives in the urban communities throughout this country. This assistance that he provides regarding this COVID-19 virus will be another layer. It will add another layer to the president's already existing urban revitalization efforts. This president is providing PPP loans that are focused in and on minority and urban and underserved and disadvantaged and distressed communities. You've already stated how you're providing unprecedented funding for HBCUs. He's provided billions for entities that are staples in the black community, child care centers, and so they can remain open during this time. You're also providing underserved communities with testing and health care resources so that no one is reached or no one is denied access to vital equipment and vital testing. You've committed to discovering and addressing the reasons why some communities, particularly the black community, seems to be affected more so than others, and you're making sure that the federal government is also going to cover health costs for those that are uninsured or underinsured. We thank you for this. Our country has been placed on pause, but pause is not stopped. We've been on pause, but we're about to press go and get back going again. I said it before unashamedly, and I say it again. This president I've lived under 12 presidential administrations. I was born during Eisenhower's administration. This president has been the most pro-black president in my lifetime. But when I say pro, I'm saying it pro in the sense of being proactive. He's been proactive rather than reactive to issues concerning minority, underserved, and disadvantaged communities than any other president in my lifetime. I really believe history is going to be kinder to you, Mr. President, than fake news media is today.
Can't be any worse. I mean, thank you.
And you tried to initiate action to restrict travel from other countries. And, we're seeing that you are a visionary in that area. And I know you're doing your very best. I know you have the heart of this country in your heart. And I know you're doing your very best to preserve this great union. As far as I'm concerned, myself, my business partner, Kareem Lanier, and the company that we have raised $1 billion in liquidity to help provide PPP loans to businesses that are in need of, in conjunction with the CARES Act. And I thank you that you've directed the White House Opportunity and Revitalization Council. You couldn't think of anyone more capable than Dr. Carson and Scott Turner here to engage with and focus on our communities that have been, in fact, impacted by this. And they have been interacting with a number of coalitions. They're doing a great job. So we thank you, and Mr. President, we have your back.
Thank you, Darryl.
Because we know you have our back as well.
I do.
So God bless you.
Thank you very much, Darryl. Now, I'm going to be making a tour of the factory with the head of Ford and some other people, and I'd love you all to join me if you could. Would anyone like to say anything? Yes, please.
Hi. I'm Dr. Audrey Gregory. I am a nurse, and I'm also the Chief Executive Officer of Detroit Medical Center. Yes. So when we talk about the impact of COVID-19, I lived it, I staffed it, and we went through it together. From the beginning of the pandemic, we've always had the focus of making sure that our patients were cared for and our staff were cared for. And so we began rapid testing, and talking about partnership, we were able to do this with Wayne State University. And by the way, just as a note off my script, we do have medical students from Meharry at Detroit Medical Center, which is the HBC.
Very good.
So we've done many things. We've partnered with the city, we've partnered with the state, and I think many of the steps we have taken has gotten us to the point where I'm proud to say that we're starting to see a decline in the state of Michigan. I will pause here, though, Mr. President, to say thank you. I am filled with pride and actually humbled by the fact that the President of the United States has taken time out of his day just to stop and listen to what I have to say. So thank you.
That's very nice. Thank you very much.
So where healthcare is concerned, since I am representing the healthcare organizations, we're now at the point, and Dr. Carson certainly alluded to some of the chronic underlying issues that the Black community faces. And so we're at the point now in our journey where we're encouraging people to return to hospitals, return to the emergency rooms, because we want to make sure that the chronic issues are addressed. I would be remiss if I did not pause to say thank you to the incredible frontline workers that have just given heart, soul, muscle, and sweat to make this a possibility even for us, not just at the Detroit Medical Center, but throughout our city. The strength and their commitment and their dedication has been humbling and also inspiring. And I believe with all my heart that they're the reason, along with all our community members who have taken on this fight, that we're winning this battle. So some of the highlights is the fact, and J-Ron and I have talked, we've certainly worked through strategies for the Black community, so thank you. One of the things, to his point, is that the pandemic has certainly just brought to light some of the disparities that have already existed. And I will say that I'm honored to be appointed to our state's coronavirus task force. And through that, the goal of the task force is really to address some of the inequities and figure out in the long run, what do we need to do differently. And so we need help to continue this fight, Mr. President. As you know, hospitals were significantly impacted. Our inability to do any kind of semaphore scheduled work, that has certainly impacted us. So I do want to pause, though, and say thank you. We have received incredible support from your administration, and not just the formal things. And so I actually left a letter for you, signed by myself and the Michigan Hospital Association, just to not only thank you, but to ask to continue the work that you're already doing, which is relief efforts across the country for healthcare organization. And so we look forward to continuing to work with you. But I want to add just my personal experience, both as a nurse, a mom, and a hospital administrator. I'm home, it was a weekend afternoon, and my phone rang, and I picked it up, and someone said, "This is Rear Admiral John P. You won't get my last name, but this is who I am. I'm calling on behalf of the administration. Dr. Gregory, what do you need? My job is to help you to get what you need."
Pull-up check. That's a pull-up check.
Once I recovered, I knew it wasn't a spam call. It was a great relationship, not just for me, but for the hospitals in Detroit. And I think the moment that wowed me, because I'm so big on follow through, is that a few days later, the Rear Admiral called me and said, "Dr. Gregory, did you get what you need?" And so there is my script, and then there is my personal story of engagement and what it takes to get us there. So the hospital community, on their behalf, I want to thank the state and the federal government for swift financial support. The federal government, all that you have distributed so far, we thank you. This has helped our hospitals to remotely stay somewhat liquid, but there's a lot more work to do. And I want to thank Ford, who has worked with us. Some of our PPE have been from Ford. And then thank you for signing legislation to support healthcare facilities. Now, the ongoing support for Detroit is vital, and Michigan hospitals need help to continue to ensure financial viability. But I just wanted to pause to say thank you for being with us in this fight.
Thank you very much. Very nice. I appreciate that very much. Alfonso, if you could. And I guess we're going to be a little bit late. We have the head of Ford waiting for us right now. We're going to walk through the plant, so we'll go perhaps quickly. And I think we have Robin going to speak too, right? Yes. So why don't we go quickly, and we'll take a couple of questions from the fake news, and then we'll go and tour the plant.
Yes,
okay?
Mr. President. I'd like to say it's an honor to be here, and it's an honor to be invited out. As a developer working with several communities in the state of Michigan, I believe that the Opportunity Zone has been a great opportunity. Jerron and his staff and his team has done a great job, and we appreciate you having the foresight to put them on the ground here.
Thank you, yeah.
In fact, they're doing such a great job. I received calls asking for Mr. Smith's address. They think they're going to go to his office and talk to him because he's
the big power.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. So as a developer, talking with several mayors that welcome you in Wayne County, they said you're more than welcome to come to the cities whenever you want, or the vice president. I would just like to say thank you, and the Opportunity Zone and what it brings to the communities is very good, and we have some projects that's actually shovel ready now that the pandemic is slowing, and it's allowing us to get back to our daily routine, and we're looking forward to getting the shovels in the ground.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Alfonso. I appreciate it. I heard you're doing really well too. That's great. Robin?
Hello. Hi, Mr. President. How are you? It's such an honor to meet
Thank you. It's my honor.
Thank you so much. I want to first tell you thank you so much. I am a COVID-19 survivor, and I got diagnosed probably about a month and a half ago as positive. And just sitting at home and, watching TV and heard you talk about hydrochloroquine and talked to my doctor. We took it, and within 5 days, I'm here to say I'm good to go. So
a lot of people have said that.
Yes. And so I want to first...
I go off it tomorrow, I think.
Oh, really?
Took a while, but
yes.
I was exposed to a couple of people, and I said, let's give it a shot. The doctor said he recommends it, but I looked at the story of Karen and many others, and I said, what do we have to lose? That's what I said. Anyway, so you had a good experience.
I had an excellent experience.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, I'm a bronchitis, used to have bronchitis as a child. And so to have that breathing interaction going on again from, I'm telling my age, from about 30 or 40 years later, it's just like, whoa, what's going on here? So to be able to get that particular prescription and be able to take it and to be able to breathe again and within hours was just amazing. So, and I'll be honest.
If you had the bronchitis problem, you're a prime target of this invisible enemy.
Right. Yeah. I thought I grew out of it. You know how they say you grow out of things. So I haven't had an actual episode since I was 13 years old.
Right.
So to have one when I'm now 50, which I might as well tell it now, is just like, okay, wow, where'd this come from? So,
right.
It was quite a little scary thing, but I must admit, it was like I said, within hours.
How bad did it get?
I had to really calm myself down and kind of go through it.
But the disease itself, was it a rough bout, or
yes,
it was made much easier?
Night sweats, the whole 9 yard, fever, coughing, little weird cough. The cough wasn't the same as a normal cough. It's kind of like a weird type of cough. But yeah, I went through the whole gamut of it. But thank God I was able to stay at home and I did recover.
Great.
And you hear a lot of different stories, especially with Karen. I've met Karen a couple of times. I know Alfonso from doing, the opportunity zones, development, things like that in real estate. But that was something that was a little bit scary. So I do actually, just from watching you on TV and hearing you talk about it, I was able to call my doctor and say, listen, hey, let's try this because, this must be what's going on. And then I need to get tested on top of that. So at that time, we had to have prescriptions to get tested. And so he wrote the script. We got it done. And I was positive, and we got the hydrochloroquine, actually called a cocktail with the azithromycin and the zinc. And like I said, I took it at about 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30 that morning, 9:30 in the morning. By 4 or 5 o'clock, I was breathing good. So
there are many people with that experience that just don't want to write about it. It's too bad.
So I first want to thank you.
Many people.
Thank you for that information, because information is key. And when you're in real estate, you realize the more information that you know, the more things you can get done. And I am very thankful for that. And like I said, we're working in our opportunity zones. We thank you for that in Detroit. Our property values and everything in Detroit is moving up. We have a lot of heavy players that are doing a lot of things in those zones to bring those properties values back up for our residents. And that's amazing. So I thank you a lot for that.
Thank you. It's a great story. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Do you have any questions real fast, folks?
Wow, you guys. Wow. So I just wanted to show you guys that video, right? How, like, I don't know if you guys enjoyed that video as much as I did, but it was just amazing to actually see a roundtable full of our people, you guys, speaking with the president. And he's actually been working for us. He's actually been doing an amazing job, you guys. Let me be honest with you guys. I was extremely questionable about Trump, you guys. I was extremely questionable about him maybe back in the beginning of 2018. Extremely questionable. I seen those pastors sitting around him, and I was getting upset. I'm like, what is this, a photo op? Because of the way that the media was, the way that the media was portraying the whole situation. But you guys, I went through an awakening. The end of 2019, the end of 2018. I had lost my mother 3 days before Christmas. We lost her, and shortly after that, I started to go through a extreme awakening. I believe I was already going through this awakening, but I started to pay more attention, you guys. I started to pay more attention to what was going on. I started doing research. I started to start researching about religion and researching about ancestral history, researching about political history, and researching about the history of our economy, and about money, and just about a lot of things, you guys. I've been over the past year and a half, you guys, I've been heavily researching and studying a lot of truths. And I just need you guys to know what's going on. I need you guys to be aware of these things. It's a lot going on that you don't know about, people. It's a lot going on that you don't know about. And this video, this video made me feel so good. It just really helped me to understand why I'm here in Michigan, even. Because 3 years ago, when I got married to my husband, we were sailing for Georgia. I was ready to get away from here. We got married, went to Georgia, went there to set up shop. But guess what? It didn't work, you guys. It did not work. It did not work. It did not work. It did not work. And then, about 2 or 3 months later, I ended back up here. Me and my husband, we ended back up here in Michigan. Still couldn't understand to this day. Lost a lot of money. Got scammed. All type of shit went on. Just a bunch of bullshit happened while we were down there. But my husband ended up having a death in his family. in Alabama. And then that was how we was able to get away from there. Get away from that place, Atlanta, you guys. And then about 2-3 weeks later, after we spent time with his family and helped them go through their mourning stages, I ended up back home in Detroit. And I didn't understand why I was here. I didn't understand it. I didn't want to come back to Michigan. I didn't want to come back. I felt like it was nothing here for me. I just didn't want to be here. I got tired of the people here, my family, all of them. I just felt like, nobody was listening at the time. Yeah, I felt like nobody was listening. Nobody wanted to do better. None of that. And I still kind of feel that way, to be honest. Because nobody's paying the fuck attention to what the fuck is going on. Nobody. At least not nobody that I know personally. And lo and behold, here we go with this coronavirus. And everything that I've been sharing, everything that I've been posting over the past, I would say 3-4 years, information that I share with my family, just trying to get us to come together, be in unity, do business together, and just let's use leverage and the opportunities that was available to us to create leverage. I've been talking about this since 2016, maybe 15. I've been talking about this a while. It was prophesied to me back then when I was in religion, whatever. 2007, prophesied. I don't call it a prophecy. I call it, well, we can call it a prophecy. But it was like the universe spoke to someone about me and told them about me and what I was going to be doing and what I was going to have to go through. And I was in my first marriage at the end of it. I didn't know it at the time, but I was at the end of my first marriage. And the universe spoke to this person and told this person that one day, I was going to be a wealthy person. I was going to be a wealthy individual. And that I wasn't going to have to worry about anything anymore. This person was a close friend of my mother. And she's very spiritual, very in tune. And she'll speak life into you so beautifully. Just one of the ladies that may be in religion and that may be, still in church or whatever, that to this day she never judged me, always spoke highly of me, always spoke into my life, always just uplifted me, always told me that I was a business minded person, that I was going to be successful. Always. This lady always told me this. Me and her daughter were best friends. But she always spoke into my life, told me how beautiful I was, told me to keep wearing those beautiful colors, how they match my skin tone, and all type of stuff. But let me just get back. She reached out to my mama early in the wee hours of the morning with this word for me. This is why I do what I do, and I go so hard for y'all. She reached out to my mother with the prophecy. I can't get the other word right now because prophecy is just in my head, but there's another word for it. But so she called my mother. She had told my mother what spirit was telling her to speak to me and tell me, and the spirit was telling her about certain things that I was gonna have to go through, you guys. And I done been through some shit. I done been through some shit in my life. Man, I can't even tell y'all the beginning of the shit. I done been in bad relationship after bad relationship, especially after I got married when I was 18 to my children's father, who I had given my virginity to at the age of 16. And being rebellious, skipping school, all type of shit, you guys. And this video, I didn't mean to make this video about me, but I just want you guys to really understand where I'm coming from and know my heart and understand why I'm on here every day fighting for you guys. I'm on here every day fighting for you. I am, and I love you guys. But let me just get back to my story. I've been through a lot, you guys. Being rebellious, wanted to be out in the world. I grew up in a very strict home. My mama sheltered us from a lot. So she sheltered us from a whole lot. And so by the time I got of age, you know, started seeing different things. But one thing about my mom was she was always helping young single women, women that had children, multiple children, and, having a hard time taking care of them. We was always there, to babysit and help them, and, when they needed a ride to the Department of Human Services to go and apply for, food stamps, or if they needed some food. We was just always there. That just always been my family. That's just always been my family. Um, you know, since I can remember, my mama's like that, my aunt's like that. Everybody, we are just a given family. So, my mom and my dad was always, helping somebody, always helping somebody. And it was always these single women that they was helping in relationships with no good niggas. Niggas beating on them, stealing from them, taking from them, just doing all type of fuck shit, cheating on them, just being niggas the way niggas is still to this day. It's ridiculous. Shit still going on. And I'm 36. This shit been going on since I probably was a little girl, a baby. As long as I can remember, back when I was probably about 4 or 5, this shit been going on. And the things that my mama been doing to help young women have been doing. So, as I got of age, my mom sheltered us, blah 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 blah. Always had a ride to school, blah 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 blah. Really, couldn't walk to school or catch the bus to school, whatever. I've been a pretty sheltered. I lived a pretty sheltered life. Grew up in church as a Christian, Church of God in Christ, saved, sanctified, holy, filled with the Holy Ghost type of upbringing. Okay, so you guys, I started seeing certain things at maybe about the age of 13. I started smelling myself like any teenager does. And I know, like a lot of y'all know, that grew up in Christian homes like I did, because the majority of us did. We were indoctrinated from birth, and Christianity was forced and indoctrinated on us from birth through our parents. They were indoctrinated, their parents was indoctrinated, and then their parents was indoctrinated. This shit been going on for fucking centuries and fucking decades and fucking generations of indoctrination. I just need y'all to understand this. And I'm all over the place, but I gotta get this information out to y'all. Y'all gotta understand. Yeah, I started smelling myself at the age of 13 or whatever. And I was very, very quiet and reserved with my shit, you know. But, as I got older and older, more different women come around, I started seeing little things, and I get curious. I really got curious, and I wanted to start doing things. So maybe by the age of about 15, 16, I was doing shit. I hadn't lost my virginity yet, but I was, wanted to have a boyfriend, this and this and that, kissing boys and stuff like that. And so, um, well, what happened? Oh, yeah. Actually, I met my baby daddy at this center that I was going to. My aunt, she had a community, like mission on her block, and she would help the children. She would feed them every morning before they went to school. When they come home, she get them a snack. She like every once a week we had Bible study, and we would sing, and we had a choir, and I taught the choir and stuff like that. So I would go help out with the youth and stuff like that, and that's where I met my kid's father at, and inside of this center in the projects, in the Brewster projects of Detroit. And eventually I started talking to this guy and sneaking on the phone, and that led to, I started sneaking in high school, and like my 11th grade year of high school, and started sneaking, and I gave him my virginity, and I was, doing stuff teenagers do. Y'all know what teenagers do. We got teenagers. We've been teenagers, so y'all know what we was doing. And eventually, you know, I ended up pregnant at the age of 17. And I've been through a lot, you guys. I got married at the age of 18 to my children's father. But in between me and him getting married, we had broke up for a minute, and I was wilding out. I was going through some things. I ended up being manipulated by an older gentleman who ended up taking advantage of me. Then I started just doing all types of stuff, sneaking with other gentlemen, and I got pregnant. So my first child is actually not my first husband's child, but when he found out that I was pregnant, we got back together, because the whole time like we were together, when we first started having sex or whatever, the idea was for us to actually have a child together. So it never really happened. And then when he found out that I was pregnant, the actual father of my son, my oldest son, he actually ended up getting locked up in prison. So when my first husband found out that I was pregnant, we started getting together, making plans to be together and stuff like that. And eventually I ran away from home at the age of 18, got my own house, and eventually we were shacking. My parents talked us into getting married because they didn't want us to shack. Shacking is an abomination, and you're supposed to marry and all of this bullshit, right? And I end up 4 kids later, 7 years later, in a divorce with this man. And after that, I went through a lot of shit, started living my life, doing a lot of shit that I probably shouldn't have did. But I was young. I learned a lot of things. But one thing that I know, I picked up a lot of street smarts. For sure. I picked up a lot of street smarts. And I picked up a lot of knowledge over the years, you guys. I picked up a lot of information. I'm not a dummy. I worked at some great jobs. I've worked at OnStar. I've worked for AT&T. I've worked at mortgage companies. I learned how to process mortgages and do different things, And so, I'm no fool. I've run businesses, you know. I'm no fool at all. And over the past year and a half, I've been seriously, since I've been married to my husband that I'm married to now, who takes wonderfully care of me and my children, should I say. I've been able to actually sit down, because most of my adult life, I was the one ripping and running trying to take care of me and my children. I didn't have a whole lot of help. I had help of my mother, and my aunts and, people in my family. But financially, I didn't have a whole lot of help. It was all main solely on me. So I had to get out here and hustle and make shit happen. Like, for real, for real. I had to get out here and do, whatever I had to do sometimes. And I've ended up in a lot of trouble. You guys, I've been in situations to the point where right now, well, actually not right now, but I actually ended up with a felony. I didn't spend no time in prison, thankfully. But I did end up with a felony. I was on probation for 5 to 7 years. Had to pay back some restitution, over $20,000, which I gracefully got out of. And so I'm no dummy, I'm no fool. And I just been taking this time to really, really educate myself. And as I educate myself, I've been taking this time to try to educate and open you guys' eyes, because it's a lot of bullshit that's been going on in this world for a long ass motherfucking time. And it's about time that we as people, we gotta stand up and we gotta start fighting and learning the truth and start fighting for us. We gotta start getting educated. We gotta start educating ourselves, because they've been dumbing us down. I get I'm pissed at the fact that right now, when I was in high school, we had all type of shit, all type of programs, co-op, home ec was slowly being phased out when I was in maybe middle school. But there were co-op programs, trade programs, and shit like this. I learned how to do computers and build computers. I learned about all type of shit when I was in fucking high school. And I look around today, and I'm teaching my kids how to do shit on the fucking computer that they, as much as advanced as this technology is today, they should be knowing this shit, and they don't know this fucking shit. And this shit pisses me the fuck off, because I've had my kids in some very, very good schools. They weren't in no public school. They were in what was supposed to be charter schools, what was supposed to be better than public schools. But they've been dumbing our motherfucking kids down. They've been dumbing us down for years, and it's time for this shit to stop. It's time for us to take back control and power over our own lives and start being self-sufficient and self-sustaining. It's time for us to stop all of this being so reliant upon the government for our lives. We have given so much dependency upon the government to live in this motherfucking country, when this shit is fucking ours. Do y'all understand that we not fucking African Americans? We didn't fucking come from goddamn Africa. We came from right fucking here. We are Indians. We are copper colored people. We are not black people. They've been dumbing us down, lying to us, calling us out of our fucking names, calling us out of our who the fuck we really are for long a fucking enough. And this shit it's time to fucking for this shit to stop. It's time for us to wake the fuck up and realize who the fuck we are and take a stand. Now, I just showed y'all a clip of Trump, right? I just showed y'all a long ass video of Trump, right? I'm not no political type person, right? I've been against politics for a long ass motherfucking time, because I could see that shit wasn't for us, and that it was only benefiting the motherfuckers that was over that shit. I've been knowing this shit for a motherfucking long ass goddamn time. And you motherfuckers, a lot of you dumbass motherfuckers that's been voting Democratic and been selling our people out for a long ass time, it's time for y'all asses to either get the fuck in order, or you motherfuckers about to have to get the fuck up out of here. Because I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm telling you, it's time for y'all to get educated around here. You might not like the words that's coming out of my mouth, and I don't give a fuck right now. It's time for y'all to wake the fuck up. I don't know what it's going to take for y'all to wake up. But all I can do is come on here every single day and deliver the information to y'all. Deliver you solutions. Deliver you a way out. I'm on here giving you the key, the way out to your freedom. I'm on here giving it to you. Telling you to invest in your motherfucking self. Stop going to these fucked up ass jobs that's not paying you what the fuck you worth. Now, I don't have a problem with jobs now, you guys. But all I'm saying is, don't let that be your end all be all. Or you gonna fucking be somewhere in a box 6 feet in the ground. Your kids or whatever gonna be. Look, you got to get up and free yourself. I'm telling you, a lot of people that's my age, a lot of people that's not my age, a lot of people that's younger than me, a lot of people that's younger than me, these young kids, my son 19 years old, this little nigga is the one who increased my awakening 2 years ago. These kids know more than we the fuck know. They see the truth behind these goddamn lies that they feeding them in these motherfucking school books better than we the fuck did. So it's time for y'all to stop telling these kids to shut the fuck up. And it's time for y'all ignorant ass motherfuckers to start listening to these motherfucking kids school your ass. And humble yourself and start listening to these kids tell you what the fuck is going on. Because you don't know what the fuck you fucking know. You don't know what the fuck you don't know, and you don't know what the fuck you know. God damn it. Because that shit you fucking think you know, that shit is some fucking bullshit. And it's time for y'all to wake the fuck up. I know I'm on here going the fuck off, but I'm pissed the fuck off about the shit. I'm tired. I'm tired of stupidity. I'm tired of seeing my people die because of stupidity, and they choose to keep on fucking be stupid and listen to stupid shit and believe in stupid shit and keep on doing stupid shit over and fucking over and fucking over again. I'm tired of this fuck shit. I'm tired. It's time out for the dumb shit. I'm about to get off of here because I'm getting mad. And I really want to just relay facts to y'all. So I'm about to get off of here. I hope you guys listen to this information and take heed to it and start educating yourselves. And start getting to know you. Getting to know your true spirituality. Getting into the law of attraction, getting into learning about your subconscious mind, learning about your unsubconscious mind, and how to deprogram this bullshit ass, fucked up ass, European ass, bullshitting ass fucking way of living that you've been fucking indoctrinated to fucking live. And it's time for you to start learning how to fucking create your own motherfucking goddamn reality around this motherfucker. This our motherfucking shit. I'm going to get back at y'all on another video. It is your girl, ShayMarie. I defy the odds. If it is to be, it's up to me. Get at me, guys.